JJJinks!
Truck stop!
JJJinks, back from the road. A couple of announcements real quick. I did make a video talking about the knives from the previous month's SMKW box, and I unboxed September's box. I haven't put those videos up yet. This will be the first one you see since my return, mostly because I think it should take the least amount of editing and I can get it out quickly. That being said, I had a wonderful trip. It was a good mixture of activities and relaxation. The driving wasn't too bad, actually. I-81 is fantastic. I think the last couple of times I made that drive down to from New Jersey to North Carolina, I took I-95 and then whoosh, scooted over to the west. I don't recommend doing that. I-81 is a freaking dream. There was construction, but not much construction traffic, and no car accidents. Both ways. I'm going to show you the knives that I picked up on my way down and on my way back, and one that I picked up while at my destination. We'll begin with the antique store stuff. So I was somewhere in Virginia when I came across a plastic bin full of knives, and I saw this. I only saw this much of it, but I instantly recognized what it was, because that color is very distinctive to me. Let's see if you can guess what this is. Well, it's a multi-tool style knife, kind of like a Victorinox or something like that. You got a bail with a B. I have learned that by now. And if you guessed that it's a Girl Scouts knife, you would be correct. Yes, I've been wanting one of these for a while, actually. And I've been looking around online, but they're actually kind of expensive. On eBay, they can go for, I've seen them as low as maybe $30 or $40 or more. This one was 20 bucks, and it's in really good shape. They actually had 3 of these in that bin. One of them had a broken scale. Another one had kind of a newer scale where it has like the profile of the ladies. Didn't care for it. I wanted the classic. It's almost a seafoam green, ain't it? Well, now I've got one, and what a wonderful piece. Very well made. I don't know how old this is, but it is made by Cutmaster in Utica, New York, USA. It's got quite a nice patina on the blade, too. So, this thing's pretty old. It's very, very dull, which tells me somebody either used it a lot, which I don't think so. The blade looks like it's in really good shape. No scratches or gouges or anything. Maybe they just tried to sharpen it and didn't do a great job, or maybe they just come that dull. I'm not sure. It's my first one. And it's got a bottle opener, a can opener, and an awl, which the awl has this little nick cut out for you to get your thumb in there to pull it out. Which, at first I thought, oh gosh, this one's broken too, but I think that's on purpose. The awl has kind of an unusual shape to it. I'm not sure what that's about. This is an awl, right? Or is it something else? That was one of the things I picked up. Aha! I also picked up one of these. This is one of those multi-tool things made by a whole bunch of different companies for the U.S. military for multiple decades. I picked this up for Tristan Barnett for a couple of reasons. Number one, I know that he collects these. And number two, I figured maybe he could use this for spare parts. Why do I say that? Well, it's got a broken spring, see? That's the reason why this thing was so damn cheap. I got it for, I think, $5. The bail looks like it's in impeccable condition. It's not bent, it's not dented. The main blade, well, aside from the fact that the springs broke, it's in rather horrid condition. It looks like someone tried to sharpen it with maybe a power tool, and it didn't really get the profile right. This thing is shot. It'll have to be reworked. But I know that what Tristan would want to know is who made it. This is an Imperial model, made in 1975, so a later model. I am 99.9% certain that Tristan already has the Imperial version of this, but maybe he could use it for spare parts. It's got pretty good looking scales. The other tools are in good condition. Check out the can opener. I love how it's labeled. So I figured if Tristan needed some spare parts, it's got a good spring in the back, it's got good scales, it's got a couple of good parts, the bail's good. Oops. So I figured maybe Tristan could knock the pins out, pull it apart, and Frankenstein another one. Or maybe if he wants the 1975 version, he could fix this one up. So anyway, got that one for Tristan Barnett. Another one I picked up for Tristan Barnett is this old Barlow. I picked it up for a couple reasons. Number one, it was pretty cheap. Found it on the very bottom of the box, and it was $5. I like Barlows, and Tristan's got a whole bunch of them. We did a video recently, I saw, about his Barlow collection. But what I really liked about it, oh, my poor thumb. I don't know if I can. Look at my thumbnail. It's already broken from just making this video. Jesus. Alright. I'll brave through it. It opens a little rough, but I really liked how highly polished the blade is. That looks pretty well made. Now, there is one thing about this knife that I know Tristan would not like, and that is that it's made in Pakistan. He normally doesn't like Pakistani knives, but I thought the quality on this was actually pretty decent. Not really any gaps. I'm pretty sure that these scales are synthetic. Just looking at the way they're cut, that's just some paper there from the sticker. I just don't, I'm not sure. Maybe they are genuine bone material. Maybe Tristan would be able to tell. You know what? That actually looks pretty real. That'd be hard to replicate. Anyway, it's a Pakistani Barlow that I thought was actually kind of decent quality. We'll see what Tristan thinks about this piece. Maybe the Pakistanis can make decent stuff. We'll find out. I also spotted this old Stockman in that box. At first, I kind of dismissed it because it is very worn out. Now, the scale material here, I think, is definitely synthetic. They just put some jigging in there and put some dye, and over the years of probably pocket use, it has worn away. And check out the bolsters, they're also kind of rubbing off, and so I kind of dismissed this one. I said, well, that thing's a piece of garbage. But then I kind of looked back at it and said, you know what? This means that somebody really loved this knife. Somebody used the hell out of it. I wonder what the blades look like. And oh boy, get ready. Here's the main blade. It is very used. It's been sharpened so much that it's become its own blade type. I call it the over-sharpened toothpick. Even the pen blade on this thing has been sharpened to the point where it's a bit misshapen, but for whatever reason, the little sheep's foot blade actually looks all right. Kind of weird. Now, of course, the whole thing is dirty and gunky as hell. This knife was made by Colonial, which is a pretty good blade. This knife was made by Colonial, a USA brand. So I think I'm just gonna clean this one up as best as I can and give it a place of respect in my collection. I may or may not have to send it out to Tristan for that. We'll find out. In that same antique store, I spotted some Nazi knives and other Nazi memorabilia, but I'm not really into that, and the asking price for those Nazi knives seemed a bit low. It was like more than $100, but less than $200. So I couldn't really gauge their authenticity. I didn't even want to bother because I don't want to buy those things anyway. But I just wanted to point out that somewhere in Virginia, there's a bunch of Nazi stuff that looks like, you know, if it is authentic, someone might have brought back from the European theater way back in the day. Well, I'm going to give my thumb a rest and talk about some knives that I picked up at a Love's gas station. I was overjoyed to find new knives in Love's this time around. I feel like every time I go to a Love's gas station, I just kind of walk by and say, got 'em, got 'em, got 'em, got 'em, got 'em. Yeah, I got all these knives. But these are new. I haven't seen these before. Check it out. Wow. Kind of a faded yellow to black hexagonal thing. Very artistic. And I like how there's like chunks missing out of it. Not sure what that's going to do for the hand feel, but very, very artistic. This one has a camo thing going on, sort of a real tree pattern, but then the plastic is molded into a very artistic, futuristic kind of looking thing. So that's pretty unique. And I kept digging around in the bin, and I found a patriotic knife. It's a little bit smaller than the others, but I really like this artwork. It's sort of an impressionist pencil style. Those trees and the mountains, like that actually looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like it was made on an Etch-a-Sketch in a way. And the eagles are actually raised to give it some texture. So I thought that was kind of neat too. I'll use the ancient Stockman to unveil these knives, which are sealed to keep in that freshness, to lock in that truck stop aroma. Oh, smells like Red Bull, urinal cakes, and meth. Yeah, you can actually feel them hexagons. It's a hard plastic material. Looks like we got full steel liners, all black. We got a flipper tab with a little bit of jimping on it. Let's see if it's open assisted. Nope, that's okay. Hey, that actually opened pretty well. I mean, for a gas station knife, that's pretty good. Huh. What's this thing riding on? I see Teflon washers. You know what? For a gas station knife, this is nice. You don't even need to give it wrist. Huh. How about that? The brand is Precision Blades. That font looks really familiar. Like, oof. It's like a movie title. Blade Runner, maybe? You know, with the line going through it like that? And obviously you can see the tool marks. This is not a very high-end knife. The black coloration has a little bit of inconsistency out towards the tip. Is it sharp? Ooh. It feels very sharp. I don't know. This rubbing the thumb on the edge thing I've heard is bullshit. But I feel like I can gauge between a sharp and a dull knife. Also by the sound. That sounds very sharp. Oh, that hand feel is atrocious. Yeah, this jigsaw kind of thing is a real problem. It hurts to hold this knife. And to top it all off, you got a low ride pocket clip. You know what? For a gas station knife, that is not bad. Now let's check out the Real Tree Tron knife. I'm gonna take the sticker off of this one so we can see the patterning a little bit better. Oh God, never mind. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a knife you would find on a spaceship, you know? And then you look on the back and it's like, nope, that's a redneck spaceship. Ooh, that opened incredibly well. It's not open assisted either. Just, wow. This is also on Teflon spacers. Man, precision blades are actually pretty good. You got weight reduction in the flipper tab there. Otherwise, it's a lot like the other one. All steel liners, low ride pocket clip. The hand feel is immensely improved on this one. Yeah, I guess I didn't even notice the speed holes in the yellow one. This one's got kind of a narrower blade that I like a lot better. Jimping for days. I'm rather impressed with these knives. And now for the artistic knife. We have a oval-shaped lanyard hole there. Let's see how this one flips. Not so much. Maybe it's because the blade is smaller. This one's also on Teflon spacers. Yeah, a little bit of wrist action and it flies right open. It just needs to be broken in a little bit. This one's got finger grooves and it feels alright. Low ride pocket clip and very subtle jimping there that doesn't really do anything, but that's okay. Very, very light blade. The least impressive of the three, but it gets a lot of points for the artistic work on the scales. I got one more thing to show you from the Love's gas station. This was a different one. I found a knife from a brand I'd never heard of before. It's this Scipio Tactical? Scipio Tactical? Well, the S has this mohawk thing on it. I think they're kind of going for the Spartan look because in addition to the knife, well, they had a few knives. They're very overpriced. This was the cheapest one. I just wanted to check out their brand. They also had hats and t-shirts, flashlights, all kinds of stuff just hanging up there right in the gas station. So let's see what Scipio Tactical has to offer. Well, I'm going to give the camo space knife some love. Woo! Tore right through that thing. This is either really bad plastic or a much better blade than I thought. And here is the knife. My first impression is I don't like this pivot plate thing. Every single knife I've ever owned that has that thing has been crap. So it just kind of puts me off a little bit already. However, I like the polish on the blade. That is nicely done. It's not mirror finish, but pretty good still. We have a very wide high ride pocket clip. Kind of reminds me of the pocket clip on the Kershaw Leak, just in the way that the screws are offset a little bit and it's asymmetrical. We have an interesting thing going on the inside. It's a liner locked knife, but it's mostly plastic scale material. The metal piece for the liner lock is actually screwed in to the plastic. See? Kind of looks like a metal toothbrush. Those screws protrude through a little bit, and I guess they're hiding underneath the pocket clip. Yep. I can see them right in there. Hopefully they don't come loose, because if they do, that liner lock's coming out. That's kind of a neat thing, actually, because that's the only piece of metal in there. There's no metal in the liners. Yeah, we got some speed holes, so you can kind of see through there to the lock. So, is that a liner lock? I don't know. Kinda? Well, anyway, one thing I do like about it already is that the spiky groove cut piece protrudes just enough that, yeah, you can get purchase on that really well. And there's actually a little groove cut out for that piece to go into. Oof, it's a little bit rough closing. No detent whatsoever. The lockup looks good. It's got some aggressive jimping here on the spine. The hand feels okay. I'd have to handle it a lot more to really know. This is just a first impression kind of deal. Well, I don't think it has any kind of... I don't know if it has spacers. It's hard to see down there. Well, there aren't any that are readily apparent, and for some reason there's yellow stuff on the metal. Well, I gotta say, I'm a lot more impressed with some of the design elements than I thought I would be. But it has a pretty rough pivot. And that's okay, that's okay. Some knives, you know, take the Sabenza for instance, it's not supposed to be a flipper. And after it's open and locked, does it really matter how it got there? So if you can see past that, the Scipio camo knife actually has quite a few things to offer. The way the back of the blade kind of sticks out like this, it almost feels like it should be a front flipper. You know? Kind of like the Civivi Matriarch? Is that what that thing's called? Let me try it. No, not really. Gets you halfway there. Oops. I don't recommend doing that. And you can flick it open anyway. So, color me Scipio surprised. While I was out at the antique stores, I was keeping an eye out for some files. Tristan Barnett wanted me to specifically get Nicholson branded ones. I actually didn't see any. I saw a lot of old tools and other primitives, but the files are just gone. They're all bought up. But I did find these. Back in the day, these were a very common kitchen tool. They're called kitchen choppers. They work pretty much the way that you would think by looking at it. You hold it like this and you chop. You can also roll it. And I like these because it also kind of reminds me of the Ulu. These are pretty identical, but one of them's just a little bit bigger than the other. I couldn't find any identifying marks on this one, but it looks pretty old. This one does have something stamped in the metal, but it's not completely stamped. H&B, not sure. Something ST, might require a little bit of detective work to figure out what that is. Now, a lot of people buy these for simple decoration. They look good on a shelf in the kitchen, and not really for use. But you can buy these from companies, you know, manufactured in modern times, and actually use them in your kitchen. So I thought it would be fun if I sent both of these to Tristan Barnett to clean up, restore, get them shiny again, and then ask him if he would send one of them back to me. I would prefer the smaller one, but I leave it completely up to him. It's kind of like the turtle doves from the movie Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. One more knife I bought while I was at my destination is this one. It's completely made of wood. I got it from just, you know, kind of an in-town touristy shop, but I thought it would be kind of fun if I shaped it with some sandpaper, maybe give it a swedge, you know, a little bit of an edge, nothing functional. I also went to a gem mine where I picked up a bunch of gemstones. More on that in another video. But I thought it would be kind of cool if I used a Dremel and actually cut into the wood to encrust this thing with actual gemstones, and then maybe give it a nice stain or perhaps a resin finish. Yeah, just a little project for me to tinker with. This video is actually getting up there in time, so I think I will divide it up into a part 1 and part 2 after all. Stay tuned for knives that I bought from knife stores.